Tom, first of all, been a funny few weeks. I'm sure when you signed in the summer, you maybe weren't expecting a new manager at this stage of the season, but just tell us from your point of view what it's been like over the past couple of weeks since Darren Moore's come in.
It's been really enjoyable for me personally. I think when it's tough when someone goes out the door, but also when someone comes in with new ideas. I think it's good for the lads to start taking them on board and getting back together and starting from the basics again and getting things going.
Manager always talks about he's getting to know the squad. I suppose you've got to get to know the manager as well. I mean, you've got to know,
definitely, yeah.
You know, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he requires of you, probably what you can't get away with, stuff like that. So has it been a little bit of a learning curve for you and the rest of the squad?
I think as a footballer, it's natural to be able to have to pick new things up and stuff like that. And I think it's a constant process in football anyway. So I think it doesn't feel anything out of the ordinary, but I think a lot of meetings and stuff, getting to know each other, is helping.
You obviously, you've only been here 6-7 months. So, was it something that maybe that you thought of now and gone like, oh, there's a new manager in. Do you change your game? Do you do anything different in training when somebody new comes in the door? I don't know what you've had like experience before of new managers coming in. So is it something you're used to maybe?
I've had that quite a lot in my career and where I've been previously, but me personally, I'm always giving 100% regardless of the day, whether it's a recovery day or it's a match day. I think it should just be part of you. So I don't think I've changed anything in that sense.
He brought you in at right back on Tuesday at Reading. In playing right back as opposed to right midfielder or right wing back, is that something you've done before? Do you know your way around that role particularly well?
I think it's quite natural to be able to, from starting in midfield to then going out to wing back. I think it's quite natural to go and fill in, play there, and I felt really comfortable there. I really enjoyed that position. So, and I think going forward, if that's the shape, I'll really enjoy playing there.
What are the kind of things you've got to keep uppermost in your mind? I suppose are you being a bit more defensive, obviously?
Yeah, I think position wise, just getting used to you're having to cover around, swing around when it's on the opposite side a bit more. But I think it's pretty similar.
What have you tried to maybe work on or improve on this season that maybe when you first arrived in the summer that you didn't have in your locker or you wanted to get better at? Where do you think you are in your development as a player?
I think the main thing for my development is always just games, always minutes on the pitch and getting out there, and I think things just naturally improve. I'll watch the game back afterwards and always try and analyse it and get better and better, working with the lads as well, the staff. So I think that's always a constant process.
Is this the biggest kind of chunk of games you've had in your career so far? Because I know you were a bit at Cardiff and then you've been on loan a couple of places, but is this the biggest chunk? So are you perhaps learning more from this than you've ever done?
Yeah, 100%. You learn a lot about yourself, and you learn how to prepare constantly back to back when you're playing, especially a month like now. It's Saturday, Tuesday. You learn to adapt and get your body ready to go again and again and again. And I think it's been really good for me. Yeah.
The team's found itself in a very difficult position in the bottom four. When that happens, what do you need to have in your locker mentally during games? What do you need to have in your locker to try and get out of that trouble? And once you're there, to keep your head above water.
I think that togetherness of the group is massive. Pull, as the gaffer saying, pull your mate through, especially in the games. When things get tough, you've got to be there for each other, and I think that's going to be a big part to play for us moving forward and starting to get results.
A couple of big home games coming up, obviously one this weekend as well. It's the manager's first home game in charge. That's got to be an atmosphere that you're relishing. But how can you feed off the crowd and use that to your advantage?
I think, to be honest, I think the start of the game can sort of set the tone, and then if the start of the game's tough, that can't be heads down. I think we need to show a lot of bravery and courage and be there for each other and get through that game and hopefully get that 3 points. You've
had some good results at home this year, Wigan and Blackpool. Have you got to kind of call on that mentality that you had in those games to get through these?
I think you take each game as it comes, and I'm not sure whether you'd use that mentality, but we know it's in the locker, we know it's there, it's in the changing room, we can do it, so we just got to bring it out.